Hello everyone. Welcome to this video on the data bar report item. Data bars are small, simple charts that can be used to compare things between different groups, or to track changes over time. They convey a lot of information in a little space, and are mostly used in tables and matrices. With data bars, it's easy to make your tabular data a lot more visual, and thus easier to interpret. They have limited functionality compared to traditional charts. Despite that, they can be more informative than other chart types because of their simplicity. In this video, we will see how to add the data bar report item inside table report items in RDL reports, and how to change the properties of the data bar report item to display sales. First, let's create a new report. Create a new report and name it Data Bar Report. If you've never created a report before, you can see how to create one in another video. I have provided a link to it in this video's description, for your convenience. Second, let's create a data set to assign to the data bar. Create a new data source, name it Sales Details using the SQL data connector. And click the Connect button. Create a new data set, and name it Sales Dataset. Click the Finish button. The data set will be created. I have provided a link to a video on creating a data source and data set using the SQL data connector in this video's description, as well as a link to documentation on the SQL query. Let's start configuring the product and sales amount data into a table report item. Drag a table report item from the item panel into the design surface. Let's configure the header text and data for each column. To set header text content, let's focus on the first cell in the table report item. And enter the column header text in the content property. You can see the header text is assigned in the correct cell. Then we can assign the required fields in each table cell. Since we are going to show the sum of the sales amount in the table, we need to change the expression. Click on the sales data cell. Click the icon next to the content property. And select expression. The expression dialog will open. Change the expression by adding a sum aggregate expression to it. And click the OK button. You will see the expression is changed in the data cell. Since we are displaying the sales amount as a currency, we need to change the format. Click the icon next to the format property. The format dialog will open. Change the type field value to currency. Change the decimal place value to 0. Enable the Use 1000 separator option. And click OK. You will see the currency format is applied in the format text box. Change the width of the column as needed. We also have a set of properties to customize the table UI. Select the header row. In the Properties pane, under the Basic Settings category, change the font to Sego UI. And the font style to bold. Under the Alignment category, choose Center in Text Alignment. And Middle in Vertical Alignment. Under the Appearance category, change the background color property to green. For better visibility, under the Basic Settings category, change the font color to white. Format and align the second row the same way. I have finished customizing the table. Let me preview the report by switching to preview mode. You can see the product details, and the sum of the sales amount is displayed in the table report item. Now, let's see how to represent the sum of the sales amount using a data bar report item. Drag and drop the data bar report item from the item panel into the third column of the table. Click Data in the Properties panel. The Data panel will open. In the Data panel, you will see the fields in the dataset displayed. If you have multiple datasets, you can change the dataset using the Dataset dropdown. The numeric columns and numeric expressions are listed in the Measures section. And the remaining types of expressions and dimensions are listed in the Dimensions section. Drag the Sales field from the Measures section to the Y-Value section. After assigning the field, the data bar will be refreshed in the Design area. By default, the sum aggregate function will be applied to the expression. You can change the aggregate function by clicking the Settings button. The context menu will be displayed. Click the Aggregate option, and the list of aggregate methods will be displayed. You can also change the aggregate function using the Expression option. Select the Expression option to display the expression dialog. Now, let's format the data bar. Click Properties. The Property panel will be displayed. The Name field represents the name of the data bar report item. Let's see the properties under the Basic category. Choose Series is used to select the series to be plotted in the data bar. For this demo, I choose the Sales 1 series. Click the Edit button to edit the series. Using the Series property, you can change the chart type, chart series border, and series color. You can enable or disable smart labels, link the report or a URL, enable or disable showing markers, show data labels, and assign custom attributes. In this demo, I changed the series color property to light green. Under the Data Label Settings category, I enable the Show Data Label property. I changed the font to Sego UI. Click the icon next to the Format property. The Format dialog will open. Change the type value to currency. The decimal places to 0. And enable the Use 1000 separator option. Click OK. You will see the format is applied. Click the Back button. I have provided the documentation links for chart series in the video's description. Now, let's look at the properties under the Appearance category. Using them, we can change the data bar border style, color, thickness, and the background color of the data bar. There are 5 border styles available: dashed, dotted, double, none, and solid. By default, solid is selected. You can also apply the property values using expressions. Click the icon next to the border style properties. And click Expression. You can assign the expression values to the properties using the list of options. I have provided the documentation link for how to set and reset the expression values in the video description. Next, let's look at the properties under the Chart Area category, such as Show Border, Background Color, and Color Palette, which can be used to customize the area of the data bar design. The Show Border property is used to enable or disable the visibility of the data bar border. By default, the bright pastel color palette is selected for the color palette property. Let's look at the properties under the Node Data category. The Node Data property is used to display static text when a dataset results in empty or 0 rows at runtime. The font family, font size, font color, font style, and font weight properties are used to style the content for the Node Data message. The text entered in the message property will be displayed to the user when a dataset results in empty or 0 rows. I type the message value Node Data to display. You can also disable the text by enabling the Hide Node Data option. Click the icon next to the message property and select Advanced. In the Advanced properties, you will see Hide Node Data. You will also see some other options to customize the No Data message. I have provided the documentation link for the No Data property in the video description for your convenience. Let's look at the properties under the page break category. The properties available under the page break category are break location and page number reset. The page break properties are used to control the amount of information on each page when you preview the report. By default, the None option is selected as the break location value. I enabled a page number reset property. Next, we'll see the properties under the position category. The size property is used to change the width and height of the data bar report item. Now, let's look at the properties under the data element category. A data element can be used to control the visibility of a report item when exporting the report in XML format. The name property is used to assign a custom name to the subreport element for exporting. The name value cannot contain spaces, and it must begin with a letter followed by letters, numbers, or the underscore character. The output property value will control the visibility of the subreport report item while exporting the report. The auto and output options export the subreport and its contents with the report. The no output option leaves it out. Next, we'll look at the properties under the visibility category. The visible option is used to show or hide the data bar report item while viewing the report. By default, it is enabled. Toggle item is used to expand or collapse the report item based on the text box selection. Let's see the properties under the miscellaneous category. The page name property is used to name the first worksheet of the Excel workbook when exporting the report to Excel format. You can set static or dynamic text as the page name using an expression. The tooltip property can be used to display informative text or values when the user hovers over the report item in the report preview. The document map property is used to assign the document map value for the subreport report item. A document map is a navigational feature that displays a separate side pane with a set of navigational links in a hierarchical structure when you view a report. The bookmark property allows the user to navigate to different parts of the RDL report. The value of the bookmark property can be your own strings or an expression. The custom attribute property can be used to set values for custom properties. I have provided documentation links for the document map, custom attribute, and bookmark properties in the video description for your convenience. Click the preview button. You will see the sales indicator value is visualized using the data bar report item. In this video, we saw how to visualize sales using the data bar report item. We added it in the report designer control and saw how it is rendered in the report viewer control while previewing it. Stay tuned to this channel for our upcoming videos on bold reports. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.